right, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shai, Bahasur Hahakwadash. I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. As a high spirit wind lawyer. And today I want to go into a topic entitled, We Are Alive to Do the Works. We are alive to do the works. As it says in the scriptures, give thyself wholly into the ministry. Okay? Give thyself wholly into the ministry. As it says in the book of Sirach, how we're occupied, a man is occupied in prophecy, or he's occupied in the law. All right? We are alive to do the works, man. All right? And a shalom to you brothers and sisters, not only who are tuning in to this live stream, but also to the brothers and sisters who are in the faith. All right? To the brothers and sisters who are in the faith. 1 second. Get a little water. All right. But so yeah, you are alive to do the works. Okay? Shalom. And the reason why I'm going into this, all right, is because in Babylon, it pulls you from different angles. All right, Babylon pulls you from different angles. Okay? And sometimes, you have duties in the flesh, you have duties in the world, and you have distractions here, distractions there, and you'll forget that you are alive to do the works. All right? There's a saying, there are two important things that happens in a man's life. The first thing is the day he's born. The second thing is the day he finds out why he was born. And the day you find out why you was born, all right, that's the day that you put all your energy into you put all your energy into doing that thing that you were supposed to do, which is why you was born in the first place. All right? The day you find out why you was born, that's the day you go hard as hell doing the thing that you was supposed to do as to why you was born. All right? We've all had close calls in our life. Close calls that we could have been put to death, could have been in accidents, you could have died in your sleep. You was a baby. Something bad could have happened to you when you were 3-4 years old, 5, 6. That pit bull could have mauled you to death. It did not happen because you were alive to do the works, and Abba willing get delivered, man. All right? A fish is alive to swim. All right? A bird is alive to fly, and a prophet is alive to prophesy, man. Okay? And when you find out why you are alive, and you find out your purpose, your duty, your calling, you breathe it. You breathe it, man. All right? Me and a brother was talking a while back, and this was pertaining to, I believe, some orders that went out. About being consistent or put up videos, and we were just talking about it, and I remember basically saying, it boils down to this being your life. This truth has to be your priority, man. Myself, I'm making the adjustments, and I have to make certain adjustments in my life in which the truth is your life, man. All right? You revolve your life around the truth and not the other way around. And once again, part of the fight is not being distracted. All right? There's this movie star Will Smith called Focus, and I remember the movie being 144 minutes long. All right? Shalom, Yahweh Bashma Oshai, Bahashon Kakodash Brakathama Brakatatu Yak. But I remember the movie being 144 minutes long. All right, and I remember the title of the movie, and I think the movie was mostly about that title, focus. Of course, there were certain things in the movie that I could pull from. All right, but that main thing was focus, man. Because part of the fight is to stay focused. And I've learned from my own experience, there's a part in this truth, there's times in this truth where you really are just going with the flow, you're just going with the routine. And there are times where your spirit is really active. When there's that candle inside of your mind's eye is flaming. All right? And you want most days, more days than others, to be on fire, man. All right? Certain days is going to be low production or low energy or low whatever. But most days of the week, you want to be on fire. You don't want to just be in cruise control, man. And that's when I realized there's a cruise control level in this truth where you're going with the routine. And there are days where that little man inside your mind is on fire, man. All right? That candle inside of your mind is flaming, man. All right? And when you find out what caused that candle inside of your mind to be flaming, you create systems to make it a routine, man. Now, there's an internal, external aspect to this truth. There's a part where you are analyzing yourself, you're studying yourself, you're doing what they would call the shadow works. Shadow works is where you basically go into the subconscious reasons why you have certain flaws, man. All right? You're working on yourself, you're working on your flaws, you're working on your healing, all right? But then there are times where you study to show yourself approved, and you do the works, man. You stay active, you know? You study to show yourself approved, and you stay active, man. It's something you learn if you do the works first. If you put your spirit behind the works, your life force behind the works, the Most High will heal you, all right? Put your spirit, your life force behind doing the works, those life circumstances that you worried about he'll flatten that out, he'll even that out, man. And sometimes you just gotta not give a fuck and just focus on the works. All right, there's this movie called Leave the World Behind. All right, and we have to have that mentality. All right, we have to have that locked mindset when it comes to doing the works. That's how he left Sodom and Gomorrah. He left his things behind. We have to spiritually leave Sodom and Gomorrah. You can't have so many Jada Pinkett Smith entanglements. You can't have so many entanglements in Sodom that you can't focus on the word, man. Well, it'll be hard for you to leave the world behind. All right, when that charagma is implemented, you're going to have to leave the world behind. You're going to have to say, fuck it. When it's time to be off the grid, when it's time to really live by faith, you're going to have to leave the world behind. And one temptation that Satan uses against brothers is he replaces the vision of the kingdom with another vision, a vision of some type of success in Babylon, some type of, establishment in Babylon, man. Hey, man, we're pilgrims in this thing, man. And we got our daily bread. The scripture says, give us this day our daily bread, man. And it's one thing not to be negligent. You're not supposed to be negligent. You shouldn't be just careless with your money. But it's another thing to, not be tapped in because of other things too, man. All right, give us this day our daily bread. But the thing is to have a balance, But once again, hey, leave the world behind, man. And when you really tapped into the spirit, you'll realize why old girl didn't call you back. You'll realize why, certain things didn't go through with certain women, or certain things didn't go through with things in the flesh, because the Most High wanted you here. He wanted you in the spirit, man. All right? We are alive to do the works. And sometimes you have to sit there and internalize that saying, that mindset, because you have to focus on that thing being your mindset to really tap into the spirit, man. Because like I said, it's one thing to just go with the flow and be in cruise control, and you go to camp on Saturday, or in our case Friday. You know, you might do a daily video. You know, you might do a midweek lesson. You may or may not do those things, but it's another thing to be spiritually there. A lot of times you might not even mentally or spiritually be there. You're just there because you have to be there, man. But we should be there because you want to be there, man. All right? You figure out why you are alive. You go hard in that thing that causes you to be alive. We're alive to do the works. Right? We're alive to read and absorb the word. And we're alive to watch the videos. We're alive to teach. We're alive to prophesy, man. If you really believe we're the men that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai woke up in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, if you really believe that brothers are a part of the 10 tribes, the 9 tribes that came to the Americas, if you really believe that we are going to get delivered pursuing the wisdom of Solomon in the 5th chapter, if you really believe that we are the Israelites that remembered themselves in Baruch 2 and 32, if you really believe that Yahweh Shai is going to crown us pursuing the 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, if you really believe those things, all right, why are you not tapped in like that? And once again, this truth is full of temptations and trials, man. You know, and believe me, I know from experience that there's a way, there's a cruise control in this truth, and there's a time where you're tapped in. And what happens is, when you get tapped in and your spirit wakes up, you'll realize that you were kind of under a spell, like you were somewhere asleep. The Most High still had you in the truth per se, but you wasn't really, like, you was like, damn, man, where I been? You know, like you just woke up, you know? Then you feel like, man, I gotta be on fire, you know? It was a temptation that we all encountered. It's like, damn, I was slipping, I've been tripping, man, where I been, man? Hey, like that beloved brother Barack Gabar used to say, hey, the waters are corn. Like our brother Barack Gabar used to say, plug into your power source, man. A lot of that shit you be worried about, and you got the carnal man is in the driver's seat of your life, and you mentally all over the place. You know, the reason why, because you're not tapped into your power source, man. That was medicine to my ears when that angel told me that. Hey, well, it was the brother Barack Gabar, that beloved brother Barack Gabar told me that. But it felt like an angel was talking to me, because in my trial, this is around 2015, he randomly called me. He randomly called me and just started prophesizing, basically, man. He said, plug into your power source, man. You know? I'm getting my ass whooped in the spirit because I'm not in the spirit. And the fact that I wasn't in the spirit, when the trials came and the temptation came, I was carnally dealing with it, get my ass whooped. Because what happened is, you do these things to level up in the spirit, right? You go on certain cleanses and certain diets, all right? But when the trials come, you weak. You spiritually weak. And you don't know how to handle it. Because just how you've got on a new level, well, on that level is a new devil. Every level is a fucking devil. And don't you ever think that when you elevate, that there won't be another adversary on that level that you've elevated to, man. All right? Once again, man, when you're woke, or how they say in the world, stay woke. Once you're woke, you'll be like, damn, where I been at, man? But I was tripping, man. It's a fight to stay woke. And then you come to the realization, man, it's certain things like I might have to let go as an individual. I have to let it go, or I have to be more moderate with it, man. And there's certain things you're gonna realize, bro. I'm just gonna have to get me a job or get me a CDL or get this one little thing to take care of my daily bread, because all of my energy is gonna go into this truth. All of my energy has to go into this faith, man. I'm gonna do what I have to do to have a roof over my head. Wait a minute, let me get some more water. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get a roof over my head and pay my fucking bills. You know, and I can admit that I can manage my shit better. But you gonna come to a realization that, look, I'm gonna get this job to pay my fucking bills. That's it. I'm gonna get this job to pay my bills, put a roof over my head and food in my refrigerator. All right, and I'm gonna do those things. All right, because my spirit and my soul, my heart, my mind has to go to this truth. I have to get into the prophecies. I have to get into the history. I have to know what these other camps are talking about, encounter and defend the gospel, and know what they're, defend the gospel based off what they're talking about, because what they're talking about is based off of their leaders ultimately selling out the doctrine. I have to fight for the very thing the Rosicrucians pay other Israelite camp leaders to stop talking about, man. I have to fight for the doctrine that Israelites were paid to sell out to stop talking about. I have to fight for that. All right? I have to fight to stay woke. And it's true. You have to fight to stay woke, man. All right? And if I have to be poor to stay woke, if I got to be close to being broke to stay woke, if I have to not get boxed a lot of times to stay woke, if more days out the week I'm studying, I'm being productive. If I have to, you see where I'm going with this? For that spirit man to be on fire, that inner man to be on, fuck the outward man. All right? Submit yourself to the Most High, resist the devil, he will flee from you, man. Man, it's like, damn. There's levels to this truth, man. And certain days you're gonna have bad days, and you are gonna still fall into temptations. But that's why the Most High set up that brotherhood as a defense also, man. But man, going back to the point, man. But if I gotta just make X amount of money a year, my daily bread, just enough to pay the rent, pay my bills, take care of my little one, feed my dog, feed my cat, just daily bread. But if that's the exchange for my spirit to be on fire, then so be it, man. If I gotta feel like a loser in this world, if I gotta feel like a loser in this world, but my inner man is on fire, In this world, nobody might know you. In this world, you might be perceived as some regular Jake, just some regular ragtag Jake. But in the faith, it's like, nah, that brother doing his thing, man. Like that he's doing his thing, man. It's like two realities. In this world, in this little reality, you playing a role of just this worker dude, this regular Jake. But behind the veil, in ship Nebuchadnezzar, it's like, nah, that brother's one of the freedom fighters. He's a freedom fighter for Yahweh Bahashim Shai. He's on the forefront on a fight to go back to Zion. He's one of those fighters, man. So what I'm learning, man, hey man, fight the good fight. It's something that the beloved Elder Apostle Bar said in a video when I first came into this thing. The way you stay in the faith is keep your head buried in the scriptures, man. All right? The way that you stay in the faith is keep your head buried in the scriptures. All right? And you'll find out that it's a fight to absorb the word when you're reading. It's a fight to absorb the word when you're reading. Because it's one thing to read in the sense that your eyes are looking at words. And there's another thing to position yourself to really see the thing that you're reading. If you're reading about history, to see it playing out in your mind. The Most High gave you vision, He gave you imagination. If you're reading the prophecies, the prophecies come together like a movie. That's what you want to have, man. That's the spirit you want to have. You know? And the scripture says, better is a man that has little understanding, but is obedient, but is faithful. Better is that man than a man that has a lot of knowledge and transgression. So, I'd rather be in a place where my faith is on fire. I might not know a whole lot, but my faith is on fire, you know? See, you learn in order for that spirit man to be on fire, for the angel inside you to be on fire, it comes with just having the basics in life, you know? And accepting that you're not gonna be perfect, accepting that a real soldier runs with the thorn in his flesh, and a man of skill knows how to recover himself when he falls. The scripture says a wise man knows when he's slipping. This truth is like a skill. It's a skill in a sense. A man of when you go to a 9 to 5, you become good at your job. Not when you don't make mistakes, but when you know how to recover from your mistakes. It's not when you don't make mistakes that you're one of the best workers. It's that you know how to recover from your mistakes. When you know how to catch yourself back up. Now you're that guy. Yeah. Like the beloved Zaquan, the beloved brother, the Zaquan Elder Kazaki Allah put on the comment board, man. Though our outward man perish, the inward man is renewed day by day. And that doesn't mean you're negligent in your health. You're negligent in your health because your health plays into your pineal gland. You know? Because I like to argue that even when you exercise, I think it cleans out your pineal gland, man. It opens up your spirit, man. All right? And definitely when you eat earthly foods of a higher vibration, it's good for that spirit, man. All right? Certain days you might have your delicacies, but mainly, man, when you eat clean, that's for your spirit too. And I know for myself, exercising, man, that's a de-stressor, man. All right? But all these different things I named, eating clean, exercising, man, that plays into the ministry. Because sometimes you can't really read or be attentive unless you de-stress, man. Unless you exercise first. You know? And like Zaquan is saying, when Yahweh Shai returns, He will deliver the angels inside of us. Because we are the angels inside of us. But we have to do these missions in the earth suits, man. We have to complete the missions in the chains of darkness. It's like the movie Man of Honor starring Cuba Gooding Jr. It's been a while since I saw the movie. But he had to go deep in the seas in a damn deep diver suit to complete the mission. And he had a fucking injured leg. Well, the scriptures not say that the Most High gave Paul a thorn in the flesh. So I think he had to get a leg amputated or something. But he had to complete the mission under fucking water in a underwater suit. So he was the angel inside of that underwater suit, man, in a dark place. You could call that dark place Babylon, the planet Earth, or Babylon, man. All right? And when the angels inside the earth suits get delivered, He's going to deliver them from the earth suits and reward them by giving them that celestial terrestrial suit. Which that'll make sense, because if you completed the mission in these earth suits, then part of the luxury is getting another earth suit that has celestial powers. So you get the experience being in the body, but this time it's perfect and it keeps the laws, man. Some crazy ass thoughts that you have inside your mind, all right? Those impulses and those drives to do the wrong thing, all right? Or just certain feelings that you have that's contrary to doing the works, that's contrary to doing something positive or beneficial. It's all part of the mission. It's all part of the mission. Certain scenarios that you have in the day-to-day episodes of your life, it's part of the mission, all right, and it's part of your trial to ultimately pull you from the faith, to have you focus on something. Man, the fight is to stay focused, man. You know? Hey, my average miles per gallon is 44.1. Like, it's showing up on my car. I will show you, but I'm in motion. All right, well, let me see if I can. I just went to 442. It be like that sometimes. You know, you try to show a brother some spiritual, then by the time you put the camera on it, it changes. You know. Hey, that's the heavy points of coin. Howard Shire, when he returns, he's going to deliver that angel inside of us, and I believe it's going to feel like Abba Willard is us, that we completed the mission. It's like when they pull Cuba Gooding's Jr. character from the bottom of the ocean and they pull him back to the surface. That he had that ceremony. He was a man of honor. You know. And the scripture says, if our right hand offend thee, cut it off. You know, you might have to get, quote unquote, get your leg amputated to finish the fucking mission. You might have to not have a woman to finish the mission. You might have to cut off certain vices to finish the mission. You might have to lose your family, unfortunately, to finish the mission. Your actual family might not fuck with you. That's what I have to do to finish the mission. You may have to downgrade your job to finish the mission. All right? That's getting your right leg amputated, man. That's the only way I can complete this mission. What's going on down here in this deep, dark ocean, in this damn ocean suit I'm wearing? All right, the only way I can complete this mission, man, I gotta cut something off. I gotta cut this fucking leg off. Because if not, I'm gonna get gangrene and it's gonna take me out. You know? Sirach 19:24, he that have small understanding and fear of Yahweh is better than one that have much wisdom and transgresses the law of the Most High. Matthew 6:22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body should be full of life. So if you've been in this truth for some time, you're going to realize that there are certain things that slow you down, and there are certain things that speed you up. There are certain things that make your spirit weak, and it takes you from a high place spiritually. And there's certain things that push your spirit on fire. Figure out what it is that slow you down, and figure out what it is that speeds you up. Acknowledge your weakness, acknowledge your strength, and create a routine where you put more energy behind your strength, all right, to put you on fire in this truth, man. It's not about pleasing the apostles, man. It's not about showing the apostles, see, I did a video. Leave me alone. See, camp leader, I'm doing videos, leave me alone. Nah, man, it's about completing the mission. All right? And doing it honorably. All right? And without grudge and going all the way in and doing it for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. And getting back on that fathership and Yahushai being proud of you. Whether you got back on the fathership as a martyr or you straight up got delivered, man. All right? I have fought the good fight. It's a fight. You're fighting simulations you're fighting scenarios in your mind. You're fighting simulations, man. All right? You're resisting. But you're doing all this for that spirit, man, for that angel. The angel is inside of an earth suit, making an effort to complete the mission. All right, and just how, you know, if you're in you're underwater, right? Let's say you're a Navy SEAL You can only be under the water so long before you come back to the surface. Well, going back to read the word, that's coming back for the surface to put more oxygen in you, man. All right, now you could go back underwater and complete the mission. Then go back up to put more, hey, do the works, read, all right, whatever puts more power in you or more oxygen or more energy, then you go back down and do the works again. But you gotta constantly feed that spirit, man. It's a fight to feed the angel inside of you, man. It's a fight to strengthen the angel, but that's your power source. Okay? Because if not, these simulations are gonna beat your ass, man. And you're gonna be having a carnal reaction towards these simulations, these tests and these trials. And you're not gonna even realize that you're losing. And that's what I'm learning. I'm learning to resist the bullshit, resist the petty shit, not be affected, because it's all simulations, man. It's part of the wiles of Satan, man. All right? Hey, but with that, to the next time, shalom.